see myself in the monitor here, and I know if I turn my hat up like this, I look like a nice, friendly guy, a little bit goofy, you know. But if I have it down like this, you can just see my eyes sort of glinting out from underneath the lights, you know. Anyway, welcome to Tom's Guitar Show. I'm Tom. They call me Guitar Tom because I'm often seen with the guitar. And they call me on the phone. They ask me, they say, hey, man, what's your show about? I say, well, it's about an hour. About guitars, guitar players, guitar playing, and all things guitaristic. So if you want to call on the phone, ask a question about, you know, how to play the guitar, the care and feeding of your guitar, what kind of guitar is right for you. You want to talk about something else, a related topic like the guitarrón, the cithara, the lute, the vihuela, banjos, balalaikas, bazookies, bajos, sextos, tiples, cavaquinhos, cuatros, ukuleles, banjo-leles. You want to talk about trombones or trombomarinas. We learned a lot about trombomarinas. Too bad Skopinski can't be here this week and tell us even more. But last week's show was we had a reading about trombomarinas. But I digress. But say pipe organs, piccolos. I see harmoniums, harmonicas, harpsichords, terpsichords. If you want to talk about clarinets or clavinets, clavinovas or clavichords, you know, trumpets, cornetos, cornholts. Well, anything musical is fine. Politics, world events, your own personality problems, that's fine too. Just keep it clean. This is a family program. Okay. I think I've said that preamble too many times. I've gotten it right a few times, I think, but I've probably gotten that preamble right 100 times. And the other 700 times, 750 times or whatever, I've done it. So the guy who brought me my looper here earlier, because I forgot my looper, a young fellow who's pushing 18 now, will be 18 in November, beginning of November, who brought me my looper. He was an infant, or it was either right before he was born or shortly after that this show started in this incarnation. And so, how many weeks is that? I'm just trying to count them off. Say 50 shows a year since 1994.
About 900, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's getting down toward 18 years of it. And, you know, maybe it's 18 years already. It's a little bit before or after, so we're well past the 800 mark. We're probably around 900.
No, 50 a year for 18 years would be around 900.
Yeah. We always try to underestimate because I don't want to be seen as exaggerating. I mean, say if I had 900 shows and I only did, 873 or something like that, it could be. Because there have been weeks when we weren't open, more than 2 a year sometimes. Sometimes as many as 3 or 4 weeks a year we're not open.
Yeah, well, and you guys go off to that convention every year for a week or two.
Well, not me.
Oh.
I've only been once. I've actually been to 2 conventions, but they didn't interfere with Tuesdays. So, yeah. I think I've missed maybe 1 show because I couldn't be here. I don't know.
But we're getting on, well, you're getting on toward 900. I'm kind of a newcomer.
Yeah, you've only been here for like 8 years or something, haven't you? Something like that.
I suppose somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
Phil showed up at SCTV one day and said, "Come on down here."
That's right. Well, so 8 times 50
I
is...
think I'm on 4.
Okay. Well, all right. Anyway, so I turned the knob, it's on delay because I turned the knob getting the amp out of the car, and I kind of like this sound. I've never done this before. Okay, I don't want to bore anybody. This is my my DeArmond X155. And it's basically a Guild. It says Guild on the truss rod cover, and it has DeArmond pickups, so... Well, I did a little looping there. See, I didn't talk.
Yeah.
So,
Mentioned people that saw our remote show last week. Saw the gathering of the Nothnagel clan.
yeah, I had both my brothers were there. My sister wasn't there, but actually we all had a big old party on Saturday, and I slipped out early because I had to play the Tuscan Moon.
Are you
But,
playing there this weekend?
Oh yeah, I'm playing there this weekend. Yeah,
That's in Kelowna?
Kelowna. Yeah, I was a little late on Saturday because I had his party, but all the clan there, and but I'll be there late this Saturday because I got a wedding in Amana. But I'll be there, and I'll be there Friday night, and with a little luck, it'll be good weather and time to sit out in the patio. We were expecting rain. That hurricane was supposed to, dump the rest of that hurricane was supposed to get out its last hurrah here in Iowa, but
We got into a little. We were down in Western Illinois last weekend.
Yeah.
Got into a little bit of that.
Well, that's about where it ended. I don't think it made it all the way up here, so not much of it anyway. I guess it rained in Cedar Rapids last night, but it didn't make it here either. So anyway, well, you got some thunderstorms and heavy weather. Or?
Not so much thunder, but it poured down for a bit and then it'd clear off for a bit and pour for a bit and clear off for a bit. Anyway, then they have a Labor Day parade down there and it was clear for that. So. But Saturday and Sunday they had Saturday, my grandson had a birthday party out near Des Moines, and we went to that first and got down in Colchester fairly late Saturday night. Ran through some rain on the way, and then Sunday it rained off and on, but Monday was mostly clear.
See, this is what we're reporting on rain because usually it wouldn't be that big a deal.
But after the June, July, and the first half of August we had around here.
Right. Well, second half of August really wasn't that wet, so.
Well, it was enough that my grass came back.
Yeah.
Yeah, my grass had gone dormant in June. I mowed the first week in June, then didn't mow again until about the third week in August.
That's my story too. It was all brown and well, I guess big corn's going to suffer.
Yeah, the corn looks a lot worse down there than it does here. Of course, we haven't, we didn't see the ears. We just saw the plants as we went by. But
yeah, well, I've gone by cornfields around here that don't have any ears on the.
Yeah.
I guess they just.
Yeah, I've seen the guys on TV shucking back an ear, and it's only got half the kernels on it. It should have.
Yeah. Well, I see that they got ears on them. I don't know what the kernels look like.
Yeah.
So I mean, I suppose I could go into somebody's field and rummage around for a while, or I could just behave myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Some farmers just don't take kindly to that at all.
I suppose. Yeah.
Strangers out in their fields.
Yeah. Well. My father has a little farm down in Washington County.
Oh.
We never lived there. It was just some couple of cornfields and some timberland, some bluff overlooking the Iowa River. It's really nice. I've been there for a long time.
They rent it out.
He rents it out to the local guy who, he rents the fields and the guy grows corn on it for his hog operation somewhere. And but it used to be crop rotation. They don't do that anymore. So. Kind of a pity, but it's a nice place. It's got this timberland and everything. I just never go out there anymore because I don't have a dog.
Yeah.
And if you do have a dog, you have to get all the burrs off the dog and check the dog for the ticks and everything like that. And then the dog is going to jump in the pond and he's going to jump in the river and then you got a dirty wet dog that's covered with ticks and burrs to take home.
Yep, and get it all over your car.
That's right. That's it too. So I don't have my poor dog. I had to put down. He was old. He was really old and, in pain. And 1999, I still miss him, but I guess it's been a while. Now, the cat, with all her little faux pas, she doesn't leave the house. And, she's not that much trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, a dog never is like a kid who never grows up. A cat could be a nuisance, but not like a dog.
Yes, when our last dog died, I thought we were out of the livestock business, but then my wife took to collecting cats.
Yeah, you got two of them, do you?
Two of them, yeah.
Well, they're not as much work as a dog.
No, they're lower maintenance.
They're lower maintenance, but still.
Yeah.
Anyway. I found a video on the internet there as well. I sent it to Laura. Not that she's just upstairs, but of a bunch of GIFs, and it's a cat who's cuddling up with a rabbit, like a pet rabbit.
Yeah.
So the cat's just rubbing up against the rabbit and cuddling and using the rabbit's head as a pillow and stuff. So I guess they're friends. Either that or the rabbit's just warm and soft and feels good or something. But
Yeah, we were down at my nephew's place yesterday. Anyway, they have a little pug and a lot of cats.
I see.
Anyway, the dog plays with those cats like it's one of them.
Yeah, sure.
Then they have a couple big hunting dogs that they keep in a pen. They said if they let them out, they'll start killing cats and chickens. So
Yeah, I see. I wouldn't want a dog like that. But But dogs and cats can get along really well. I mean, in my experience, I've had, when I was a kid, we had a dog and a cat. And, the cat was a little bit miffed when we brought a puppy into the house, but it was all right. And then when I had my dog, and I had two cats, and one of them got run over, and they got, and then the remaining, the brother and sisters, as the sister got run over, the brother was, lonesome, and I left him during the day all day, So then I got a puppy. They gave me a puppy up at Stone City, a free puppy, and people say, well, the cat's going to kill that puppy, because just a little. It wasn't even weaned yet, really. It was only like 5.5 weeks old or 6 weeks old or something. It was 7 weeks old, and so I gave him milk, and his mother ran away, and she didn't. Not everybody's cut out to be a mom, and. So he was an abandoned puppy, and so I took him in and fed him, gave him cow milk and then puppy chow, and he grew and he grew and he grew. So when he was a little baby, just this little floppy thing with his eyes kind of like, and smaller than the cat, but then he started to grow, and he grew, and he was like over 100 pounds, and the cat was 10 pounds. So, but they were really good friends. Yeah. And then later on, my cat was kind of a fighter in the trailer court, and then we moved up to the house on Governor Street. The dog, the cat, and I, and he kind of retired from fighting. He wasn't a trailer court cat anymore, and he was older. Yeah. But then sometimes the cat would come and challenge him, and there'd be this on the porch. So I let the dog out, and the dog would be to that other, and then chase the cat up a tree, and then he'd come back like this, and my cat would just rub up against his legs. See, my big buddy. See? But anyway, dogs and cats can be very, very good friends. In a way, they have a lot more in common. They got the tail and the fur and 4 legs.
We sit my son's dog from time to time. He has a healer that's normally about 35 pounds. It got up around 40, and the vet said put him on a diet. But anyway, the big cat's about 15 pounds. Mm-hmm. And the dog wants to be friendly and play with the cat, but the cat hair on her back stands up, and she gets face to face with him and growls and backs that big dog down. He's really a medium-sized dog, but he's bigger than the cat.
Well, the cats have the claws and everything.
But my brother-in-law came up with a little Boston Terrier that was about 7 or 8 weeks old. Mm-hmm. You can hold it in the palm of your hand. Mm-hmm. And the cat took one look at that and ran.
Huh.
It'll face down that full-grown healer, but it ran from a puppy.
Yeah, maybe that cat knows something we don't.
It'll usually face down that healer. If it's between the healer and my son, the healer don't back off.
I see.
He knows who my son belongs to.
Well, these animals, they form alliances.
Yeah.
kind of grooving on my delay. I don't know. Other people have been playing with delay. I always said, delay, that's just like an echo, isn't it? Why would you want that? But I know, because it's kind of fun. Anyway, so I had my first day on the job up at Coe College up there in Cedar Rapids, and it seems like a nice enough place, but unfortunately there was all kinds of stuff going on with the scheduling, and so I was up there for 5 hours, and I only ended up teaching 4 lessons, 4 half-hour lessons. So for 3 hours, I had nothing to do. I practiced. But see, I didn't bring any of my sheet music that I would normally have practiced, and I didn't bring a guitar that I would normally practice on. I was all set to teach classical guitar lessons. So, but I've been working on this other one, and I think I tried to play on this show before, but it's Till There Was You from The Music Man. So, Meredith Wilson. It's actually a really good, it's an interesting show, The Music Man, because guy moves to town, comes into town to swindle people. He's got to figure out, his thing is he sells boys' bands, you see. So he's got to, he's looking for some sort of an issue, you know, that he can get everybody all, like a non-issue, but something he can get everybody all worked up about.
Yeah. Kind of like politicians.
Exactly like politicians, see. You come in with, there's a terror, you've got a trouble. We got trouble right here in River City. And which is actually a pool table. They have a pool table that's moving into the billiards parlor, because billiards is a gentleman's game, and pool, well, we all know, you know. So
any fool can knock a ball in a hole.
yeah, right. Well, that's what they say. But so unfortunately, the pool hall belongs to the mayor, but that's another, you know, part of the issue. But so I mean, there's this story about it was a silly story, but a guy's going to start up a boys' band to keep the boys moral after school, because you know what kind of trouble people get into. So, of course, that was in the old days. They didn't have girls in the band, too. Now I think they got more girls in the band than boys. But anyway, but they, you know, so they have a serious problem, but he has a solution, you see, which is how you do it. You know, of course, he was a liar and a cheater and everything, and like a politician. So, did you see any of those speeches at the Republican convention? Fact checkers, you know, fact checkers had to put in a lot of overtime because you know, they were saying things that were demonstrably untrue. And now we've gotten to the point, the post-truth era. Maybe we always were, but now they don't even try anymore, you know. Anyway, so the music is kind of interesting. Also, another thing that's interesting about The Music Man, when you think about it, is that he's looking for a sadder but wiser girl, waiting for Hester to win just one more A. That's from The Scarlet Letter of Adultery. He's looking for a woman who has experience. He's not looking for a nice Sunday school teacher because she's the fisherman, I'm the fish. You see, plop. You see, she's trying to reel him in. So he's looking for the local, and mistaken as marrying the librarian, but. Of course, marrying the librarian in that show, because I got the movie from the library to watch it. I know the community theater in Washington, Iowa did it, but I heard that some of the characters were good and some weren't as good. But marrying the librarian, who was played by Shirley Jones, who had bright red lipstick and looked pretty good. She's supposed to be 26, and her mother looks like she's about 60. You see, and her little brother looks like he's about 6. So you start thinking, I've heard this one before. So that's your little brother, right? So your mom, she's like, she's like 30 years older than you, or 34 years older than you are. But she's like 56 years, or 52 or 54 years older. She's like 54 years older than your little brother. I don't know. Is that really your brother? I've heard this one before. It's not actually your brother. It's your son. But anyway. So, anyway. The local women accuse her of being a scarlet woman. Anyway, but that has nothing to do with it. Anyway, I was thinking about that show because of the thing about we have trouble right here in River City, and he's got the solution and everything like that. But he's actually just a grifter. So that made me want to. I like this song. Till There Was You. This is when Marion the librarian falls in love with him because he gave a trumpet to her little brother / son. Anyway, sorry. See if I can play this. I practice this all day. Pretty much have it down.
That was little Ronnie Howard was a little boy in that, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Too bad about those child actors.
Yeah, look at him now, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. He looks almost as bad as I do, but I was never as cute as him, though. But, yeah, I did a pretty good job as Opie, also.
Yeah.
Well, so I got the movie from the library.
And Richie Cunningham and the director. He's one that just kept right on succeeding.
That's right. That's right. He's been a big success all his life. He seems like he's emotionally stable, apparently, too. He's like mentally stable.
Yeah, pretty rare for a child actor.
Yeah. Well, I heard about it. Like I was listening to. Well, I watched the extra bits they have on the DVD.
Yeah.
Because I got the Music Man from the library there, and because the price is right, and I get to keep it for a whole week.
Right.
But so I watched the other things, and it was and Shirley Jones is talking about a couple of things, but with like Ron Howard, how he was just so intelligent and easy to work with, and he came from a family that wasn't a show business family, which she thought was helpful.
Yeah.
I guess because she has a kid, and she was pregnant during that
In real life.
in real life when they were filming that. But halfway through, because there's a big, long, like 9 months of
Right.
it, and so about halfway through, she was pregnant, and with her son, who David Cassidy, or because some Cassidy,
Yeah, David and Sean.
Sean Cassidy, maybe it was.
Can't remember which one's her son.
Yeah.
Because I think they're half brothers.
Oh, okay. Huh. Well, one of those Cassidys was her son,
Yeah.
and she was pregnant with little Cassidy, and who's middle aged now. But anyway,
Right.
but he. So there was a big scene when she sings "Till There Was You," and they're by the water, by the creek, by the footbridge. That's where people go to make out. That's a make out spot in River City, apparently. So she, and so they give her ruffles and bows and things to cover up her pregnancy and everything like that. But there's a big kiss. There's like one love scene in the whole thing. There's a big kiss. And she's kissing Robert Preston, and then during a take of that, it's like the baby kicks. What was that? Because she was trying to hide it from the cast and everybody. Did you see Shirley? So, anyway, there was the woman who played the mayor's daughter, the EGODS one. She was interviewed also. Anyway. A few years ago, he wouldn't have caught me checking out the Music Man from the library, but I've got nothing left to hide. I've got nothing.
You're mellowing in your old age.
Yeah, that's right.
You're at the age where it's not embarrassing to like Meredith Wilson.
That's right. Why? Seems like some of that stuff is pretty good. I don't know about 76 trombones, but I don't have to, focus on that. But. Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is a coming. Well, see, I don't need that.
Yeah.
Although I would say that the UPS truck comes to our house quite a bit, apparently. Laura's got a book fetish.
Yeah.
So the big brown van shows up in front of our door frequently. The guy doesn't even knock anymore; just opens the door and throws it in the. There's a bench, a little bench right in front. So, in the winter, so you can take your boots off and things like that. So he just like drops it there because he's been there. Yeah.
Yeah. Been there enough times, he knows the drill.
Yeah. Yeah, well. Yeah, well, I got a Guitar Jones. I can't really. I've got a lot of books too, music books. Yeah. But so I got the Telecaster, but it went right back in the shop because it's.
Oh, that's this latest one you bought?
Yeah, so it's still in the shop. I was there, actually gave him some money on it. I'm getting close to getting paid off on it already. So, but
I know you're having noise-free pickups put on. Is there something else?
Yeah, it didn't help.
Oh.
So they should be pretty good pickups, though. It should be a great guitar. My plan is to bring it on the show with this great big tube amp that I have, big tweed PV, kind of a retro, kind of a low-power amplifier with a 15-inch speaker. Oh. So it's like a very kind of 50s style called the Delta Blues. I've had it for quite a while. It's a pretty expensive amp. I guess I got it a long time ago, but it hasn't gone stale. Yeah. So I thought that would be a really good combination. And that's my dream. But boy, it would go bzzz, like that with that amp. It wouldn't. That amp would not forgive anything. So anyway, I mean, this one's bad enough, but. So my the original Tom's Guitar Show, I brought a different guitar on every week, but even I can't sustain that. I mean, you know, because I don't have that many guitars, and some of them I don't really want to play. But up there at Coke College, I was thinking about bringing a different guitar, taking another different guitar every week up there. And I started out, I took my old classical guitar, but a lot of the students are like music ed majors and people like that. You know, they're not going to be serious classical guitarists. So if I could bring this one with a little amp, you know, I could bring steel string. I could bring, you know, maybe if it gets kind of, I'll bring my Flying V. Take that one with me, like
Play some rock and roll.
Yeah, sometime. Well,
Some 80s hair metal.
I'll just play same old classical music on this, but on a guitar that's designed for hair metal. I brought that. I actually was it's probably about a year ago or so. In fact, I better check the strings on it. But I hadn't bought a guitar for a while, you know, and I had this thing hanging on the wall because I wanted to use it as a prop for Johnny Two Chord sketch.
Yeah.
And the one I ordered was gold, like you know, like you know, gold metal,
Right.
like color, just shiny gold. And they said send me a black one instead. I was going to send it back, but this is like years ago, 10 years, more than 10 years ago. And so I had to leave town for something. I had to do some other thing. And then when I got back, I kind of forgot about it. And then it was too late. You know, a few weeks went by and it was too late to return it or to exchange it.
And it's like a pet, you get attached to it.
Well, I wanted them to send me a gold one because what I wanted to have this character called Johnny Two Chord.
Yeah.
And then I had the split screen battle of the George Schnickelfritz or Claude Hopper or whatever, the character, the guy with overalls and a lot of plaid.
The Iowan.
Yeah, the Iowa guy. And then the other guy would be Johnny Two Chord. And he would have like a long blonde wig or maybe just a blonde ponytail sticking out of a baseball cap. And ripped up jeans and try to look like an 80s hairband kind of guy, you know. But this guy couldn't play at all. He just has, this is the way I go, wow, 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 like that, you know, but he jumps up and down while he plays. And have them have a guitar duel, you see. And just be me playing both guys. But the thing about the Johnny, the George Schnickelfritz, the Iowa guy, is that he watches Tom's Guitar Show, and he doesn't have much to do except practice. So he can actually play. Yeah. Actually like it. But he's like, he looks stupid when he does it. But the other guy, all he can do is go, "Rah," jumps up and down. So then they have the guitar contest, the guitar, you know, duel. The guy, Johnny Two Chord, wins because he jumps higher. You see, the other guy who's just like studious. So I wanted Johnny Two Chord to have a gold Flying V, and this is just a Korean, you know, copy.
Yeah.
And Epiphone. Epiphone is the import line for Gibson. And it's pretty cheap, but it actually doesn't sound half bad. So after the guitar had been hanging on the wall for years, I got it down, I restrung it, and I set it up, and I fixed it up a little bit, and brought it on the show, and it actually sounded pretty good. So, I mean, it's just another guitar. It just looks funny, and you can't sit with it because it'd slide right off. You see, you have to strap it on. You can't just put it on your lap because it just, you know. I suppose you can put the V part there, but that hurts. So.
I was just thinking, you've reached the age now. You should probably add a character. Get a gray ponytail and a harmonica holder and play Dylan.
That's right. I should do the aging rocker.
How many roads?
How many roads must a man walk down? Yeah. I love Dylan,
But he's not a singer.
Well, I really haven't done any of it. I used to learn his songs, but I really didn't. I didn't learn the more contemporary ones. I also everything from Blood on the Tracks on back.
Yeah.
You know, because Blood on the Tracks had like early one morning the sun was shining. I was laying in bed, wondering if she changed off her hair was still red. I can't sing it. Why? It's really like though. Early one morning the sun was shining. I was laying in bed, wondering if she changed off her hair was still red. Her folks had said our lives together. Early one morning the sun was shining. I was laying in bed. Oh, her hair was still red. Oh, anyway, folks had said Lives together sure was gonna be rough. Never did like Mama's homemade dress. Papa's bank book wasn't big enough. And I was standing on the side of the road with the rain falling my shoes. Look ahead now for the East Coast. Lord knows I paid some dues getting through. Tangled up in blue. I could do it in D. She was married when we first met, soon to be divorced. I helped her out of HM, I guess, but I used a little too much force. We drove that car as far as we could, abandoned it out west. Split up on the docks that night, both agreeing it was best. She turned around to look at me as I was walking away. I heard her say over my shoulder, we'll meet again someday on the avenue, tangled up in blue. Well, I'm sorry. This is not the time or place for this. I just realized that if I could do it in D, if I could transcribe the song or transpose it in the key of D, I could probably sing it. Because I can't sing high enough to, Early one morning, I was standing on the side of the road with rain. I can't sing that high. But, anyway, I don't know.
Maybe better do a little Johnny Cash then.
Well, yeah, well. But after I try to sing high, I can't sing low, so. Anyway, sorry. Long day, man. But see, my thing I do is instrumentals. So I could do Forever Young, for instance. I figured that one out kind of spontaneously for a student of mine. And I realized, I can do this. So. Sorry, it's a C. a Bob Dylan song. That's like a Bob Dylan blessing. May you stay forever young, forever young, forever young. Yeah, anyway. So, guy, he's a decent enough fellow. He's a neurologist, actually. Takes lessons from me sometimes. He loves that movie, The Last Waltz, with Bob Dylan and the band.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
It's an old. I saw it at the theater a long time ago. It's like the end of an era, kind of the end of the '60s type of era. And there was the band, like with Robbie Robertson,
Yeah, I remember the band, but
Yeah, there was a band with Bob Dylan, and Bob Dylan comes out and does "Forever Young," and it's so it's a very emotional moment for this guy who takes lessons from me. He's like my age, So I'm Forever Young. So he's telling me this story, and I start playing Forever Young, and I realize, oh wow, I can make an instrumental out of that. See, sometimes it's hard. Like that song "Till There Was You," I wrote it, I transcribed it into a friendly key, C, with a pencil.
yeah.
And then because I couldn't quite get it, and then I worked on it and stuff, and I memorized it, but I still screwed it up. But today, I had a little practice room, and
That's what happens when you show up for rehearsal.
yeah, right. Well, I showed up at the my little room they gave me. I got my name on the door and everything at Coe College there, and I had a bunch of people not show up, so I got half an hour there. Now, if I'd been at home, I'd have other music, sheet music, other guitars and things to do, and I could surf the darn internet over and over again and see what's going on in politics and stuff, and see what other kind of disasters are happening in the world and stuff. But instead of that, I had nothing but my classical guitar, and all the sheet music I had was, stuff for, undergraduates to play. So, I had like 5 method books with me, and some photocopies, and I played every song in those books before. One of those books, I got my first copy, the Mel Bay book, came out in 1947. He's trying to let you know that it's almost over. Anyway, I didn't get my first copy quite in 1947, but I got it a long time ago. See, they got the Aaron Shure book.
Yeah, even I was pretty young in 1947.
Yeah, I was negative in 1947. But anyway, but the other one I got, my first copy of the Aaron Shure Book 1 when I was 13, and I think I got Book 2 when I was 14, and yeah. I got my countdown timer still says 59, 59, 59. So
Okay, never mind. I'm talking back to the booth, and they're right.
yeah, I don't know what time it is, so it's okay. Doesn't really matter anyway. So one guy though played ukulele on the Star Trek show, and has been on the upstairs specials. He says people actually have watched him on Tom's Guitar Show. People actually watch this show, at least for a little while sometimes.
I suppose when the commercials come on the other stations, they flip the channels and
flip the
get a look at us.
Yeah.
Stick around. We might say something interesting.
Yeah, if you watch faithfully. I know. Darn, here comes that cat again. But that's not unusual. Sorry, I was just Joan Baez's song about Bob Dylan, As I remember your eyes were bluer than robin's eggs. Your poetry was lousy, you'd say. Where are you calling from? A booth in the Midwest. Anyway, well, I'm just running out the clock. You know, I could play something for like a minute and then do the Tom's Guitar Show. Or I could say, you should come out to Kelowna this weekend and hear me play at the Tuscan Moon.
What, about 6:30 to 9:30?
Something like that.
Beautiful Amish country?
Yeah, right next to Kelowna Bakery. Beautiful downtown Kelowna. I was thinking about doing a song, My Kelowna. Pa, 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 My Kelowna. So much to do and see, like the cheese house and the bakery. My Kelowna. Okay. We'll be back next week, though. We always come back.